What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. Um, I'm your host, Alex Leak, and we've got a special guest on this week. We've got former Bears, Chicago Bears, Tennessee Titans, and Ole Miss linebacker Patrick Trahan. What's up, Patrick?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks so much for coming on.
No problem, man. No problem. Excited to get to talk to you and your fans and get a perspective.
Yeah, yeah, this should be a good interview. So for people that don't know, Patrick, so you play your high school at St. Augustine in New Orleans?
Yeah, I played from 2001 to 2005. Well, that's my graduation year. St. Augustine is an all-boy Catholic school. It's pretty prominent in football and basketball and track, and it's pretty prominent high school known for sports and a good band.
Nice. How was that? Did you have fun there? Was that a good school for you?
Yeah, I'm actually from Baton Rouge. I moved to New Orleans to live with my dad to go to the school because the background and history it has with producing D1 athletes, and it was a 5-year school, and I knew it would give me a good shot to go to the schools I wanted to go to when I got to college.
Nice. At what point did you believe you had the ability to make it to that level, the D1 level?
Well, I was a, kind of a big high schooler, and I had always been really into sports, and so um, I I didn't really start getting looked at till my junior year, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when recruiting really picked up. But I kind of always figured that I would be the one player. But I was always into football, and I went to a lot of camps in middle school and in high school, and so I always got a lot of attention when I went to camps. But
Nice.
it really took off my junior year.
That's cool. Um, So you were recruited. You go to Auburn out of high school.
Right.
You played one season there at Auburn. What was the recruitment like? What choosing Auburn?
Well, they were really always after me,
Mm-hmm.
and they really kicked off. Like I said, my junior year recruiting picked up, and they really kicked off the interest in me. Once they offered me, a lot of other schools followed suit, and they were always after me. They always made me feel wanted, and they told me they had a plan for me, and at the time they were coming off an undefeated season. They were probably the top program in the SEC at the time, and so
Nice.
I definitely had to give them a serious look, and I ended up committing and attending Auburn.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great school for football. So then you played one season there. You would transfer and go to Northwest Mississippi Junior College for a season, and then you would end up in Ole Miss for your final two seasons. Um, Ole Miss was the one that you had the most success, right?
Yeah, I had an academic issue at Auburn, and I decided to leave and go to JUCO. And at the JUCO, I was able to have a good showing,
Mm-hmm.
and it propelled me to be one of the top prospects in the country. And once I looked at the landscape, I saw Ole Miss was an up and coming program, and once again, they seem to have a plan for me, and they looked like they was going to have a good team, and I felt like that was the best place for me, and I had a lot of success there. We had a really good defense, and we had a good 2 years while I was there, and so really enjoyed playing for Ole Miss, and I enjoyed the school and the program. it's really a lovely place, and
Y-
it's it's I want to say magical, but it's something about Ole Miss.
Yeah, I enjoy watching Ole Miss. They're one of my favorite schools, and you hear really nice things about that campus and stuff. Um, so
Yeah.
to you based what you were saying, your stats really backed it up in Ole Miss. You had great success there. In 2009, you led the Rebels in tackles for losses with 12, interceptions with two. You were third on the team in sacks with five, and fourth in tackles with 69 on the season, and two forced fumbles. Um, One of your better games was against Alabama when you recorded 11 tackles and two sacks, both career highs. Was Alabama your best game, or do you remember? Was that one of your best games of your career?
Well, yeah, I think I had a good game against them, but I think Alabama, LSU, I had a good game. I think Mississippi State, I had a better stat wise game, but
Okay.
we ended up losing. But we had a really good defense. We had a lot of guys, some guys who are still professional, or I mean, still in the league professionally right now. And we were my junior year, we were really stacked talent wise, and I just it was fun playing in the program and the defense we had, and it was easy to make plays and be in the right spot because we played a really aggressive defense.
Nice. That had to be a good time. And then after Ole Miss, you would enter the NFL draft in 2010. You would get undrafted and sign with the Tennessee Titans, and then you would be with the Bears from January 2011 until about August 2013. Um, Coming out of Ole Miss, did you expect to be drafted? Were you anticipating that?
Yeah, I definitely was anticipating to be drafted, but sometimes things just don't work out, and I was evaluated as an undrafted player, and so I ended up being undrafted, and it's just a lot goes along with being undrafted. It's a fight to establish yourself in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. What was it like that those battles trying to everyone's scratching and clawing to make an NFL roster? What was that experience like for you?
Well, it's just a I want to say humbling experience, and it's just I played a lot of football before the NFL, and definitely a different treatment, and it's a different people have a different appreciation for the game. Like they is you have to learn a new role and be valuable to the team, and it taught me a lot about what can you do for the team, and as far as not only being um, a, a good backup, but being valuable in special teams and playing multiple positions on special teams. The more you can do, the more valuable you are, and just fighting and clawing is it's a lot. I used to joke a lot with players. I tell them, it's hard living with the scissors on your back, because any day when you're at that point, you can be cut for anything at any time. They might need to make a room for somebody, or somebody got hurt and they might need your spot, So it was, luckily, I never was cut for any of those reasons,
Hmm.
but it's definitely difficult. And I just tell people that, I played four, four seasons in the NFL, four preseasons, and I blocked punts in three preseasons,
Wow,
and that kept me on the team.
that's
And one
cool.
year I didn't block a punt, and I got cut. And I only got cut once, so it's not a very forgiving position to be in when you're undrafted,
Yeah,
because you might be out of there, and it might be your only shot.
yeah, it's tough. That's what they call it the not for long league, and it's tough in that making it and keeping the roster spot. Anything can happen. I hear a lot of people talk about, you go from college to the NFL and there's just a huge difference in talent, size, speed, all that. For you, did you notice that big of a difference going from Ole Miss to the NFL?
Well, I kind of disagree with a lot of people on that. The thing about the NFL is you need to be a certain size to be in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and things are more uniform in professional NFL. Whereas when I played in the SEC, they had a lot of talent. It was a lot of talent in the SEC at the time. That it was probably the golden years of the SEC. Part, the majority of my time was, probably some of the best times the FCC ever had. And so the way I look at it is, it was a lot of guys that I played against in college that could have played, but it just was so much talent in the SEC that maybe they didn't get the shot or maybe they didn't have the size. And
Mm-hmm.
so the actual times that I actually played in the game, it seemed kind of slower to me because the guys were bigger, and not only were they bigger, they weren't cutting, they weren't going backwards. A lot of the times in college, you see guys they run all types of ways to get like extra yard, and that's hard to deal with. Whereas in the NFL, running backs are hard to go straight.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get that last yard, and so um, I felt like it was the game was kind of slow in the NFL, where opposed in a little bit faster to me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's an interesting take on that. Yeah. Well, in your time in the NFL, what were some of your favorite moments being on NFL rosters and with your teammates and stuff?
Well, I got to be friends with a lot of players that I looked up to, and um, as a child, it's a lot of players,
Yeah.
that had long careers. Like I got to be friends with Randy Moss, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, and these are guys who I looked up to, and to know them. Oh, also Julius Peppers and other guys who I knew. Um, Playing football. I might not have been that young, but
Mm.
just becoming peers of guys who I respected. I think that was one of the biggest things that I loved about playing in the NFL, and being a part of the fraternity and just being able to talk to guys and running with guys you know, who who you looked up to. Like I said, Julius Peppers, Randy Moss, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, all these guys, you know, even Deuce McAllister, I had a friendship with. He went to, even though I didn't play with him, but it's somebody who I grew up
That's sweet.
knowing and looking up to. And it's just to be, a peer and to be able to talk about things, and it's a lot, and I think that I didn't play too much. I got a couple games, but I think that has left the biggest impact on me.
Yeah. That's got to be so much fun playing with guys like that and being on the same field with them and knowing that you can play at their level at that level and that's a great accomplishment to be like that. Going along with a similar question, who are who would you say were some coaches or players that had the biggest impact in your football career, helped you develop your talent, and help teach you stuff uh, along the way?
Well, I got to say, Coach Muschamp at Auburn, he was defense coordinator when I was there at Auburn. He
Hmm.
told me that I was special, and I was, he really helped me with my confidence, and him believing in me went a long way. And then when I got to Ole Miss, I um, I really got a really good bond with Ty Nix. I believe he's a secondary coach with. He was our defensive coordinator. At the time he was one of the top defensive coordinators in the nation, but I think he just took a job at Virginia Tech as a safeties coach,
Nice.
and he really showed me the game. We watched a lot of film together, and I really got the X's and O's down. And so when I would go in the game, I was able to. A lot of times I knew what was coming before difference is in getting prepared, how coaches really get prepared for the game. And I wanted to coach at the time, and I learned a lot about coaching
Mm.
from just from being there and going to meetings with him. And he just allowed me a lot of access that not a lot of players get access to see the ins and outs of coaching at the college level while I was still playing.
Nice, that's awesome. It's good to have guys like that teach you and learn stuff from. That's cool. Um,
Right.
so I know you've played some linebacker and some safety in your career. What's your favorite position to play on the field?
Believe it or not, my favorite position is probably defensive end.
Okay.
if I could go back, I probably would have played DN. I played. That's what I played. I played safety and DN in college. I mean in high school,
Okay.
and really from playing DN is where I got most of my scholarships. So when I got to Auburn, I came in as a safety, but I didn't think that I was big enough to play defensive end. But in today's game, and I had about the size. I might have been a little bit smaller than Von Miller, about the same size. So I probably could have played it. And just I just never got to really. We were stacked at Ole Miss. We were stacked at deep line, and so it was something that I could play linebacker. So I never really got to put my hand on the dirt. But
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things was rushing the quarterback in blitzes and off from a 3-point stance.
Yeah, I think you already answered my next question here. Based on that, what is more fun to you? Blowing up a run, making a tackle for a loss on a running back, or sacking the opposing quarterback?
Definitely sacking the quarterback. I mean,
That's
you
good.
could you could you could you can blow up a run. You can do that like 5 times in a game, but like a sack is big. You can make a sack at the right time, and
Hmm.
that might end the game or change the outcome of the game. So and you get paid more for sacks. So if I could, I would definitely love sacks.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm the same way. I like seeing quarterbacks getting hit.
yeah,
They got all the
definitely.
rules in their favor. Another one, would you rather are you the type of guy, would you rather have a pick six or would you rather blow up and force a fumble?
Um, I would rather have a pick six. I've caused a lot of fumbles in my career, and
Hmm.
I've only had a few pick sixes, and definitely to I've caused a fumble in the game and somebody kicked it out of bounds, and we had to go right back on defense. So I rather handle it myself and do a little dance, and that's always fun.
That's what's
So
up. Good answer. Um, all right, so what do you think? What's your opinion of the NFL right now in 2018? There's a lot of rule changes, and the direction of the game is a little bit up in the air. How do you feel about the position the NFL is heading?
well, I think that I think they're doing a lot to penalize defensive players, and they doing they say they want safety, but this and that. But it's at the end of the day, it's football.
Mm-hmm.
You don't a lot of I grew up and I knew kids parents that didn't let them play football because it was a rough game, and I know that there's issues with brain damage and all that, and I think that we like it's a part of the game, but we should be compensated um, for it, and because it is a part of the game. But I just don't think that you can regulate or make rules to get out the toughness of football, and I think that part of the enjoyment of football is the physical aspect of it, and I just think that all these new rules and regulations, and I just think it messes up the game. I see kids in college get thrown out of games the time because what's it called, I forgot what it's
Targeting?
called, targeting.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous
Yep.
that a kid can get thrown out of the game for a judgment call. It's things are happen fast. A guy might tuck his head or whatever, and you're gonna throw this kid out the game. And that's I think that's ridiculous. And I don't even want to get started on the catches. The whole how they had to redo the catch, and for the record, I want to say Des Bryant didn't make that catch. If anybody,
Yeah.
that wasn't a catch, but they you change the rules and you get away from the original game. And I think that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. It was like the whole season we had a certain catch rule, and then it was like we get to the Super Bowl and they decided to try something new, change the rule like mid season. So we'll see. Hopefully they fix it this year. I agree with you 100%. I think that penalizing players for making hits and playing the game is wrong, and you're taking money out of these guys' pocketbooks, and it's like I think one thing that could really help the league long term is better long term health insurance. Take care of the players later on down the road would be very
yeah,
beneficial. Um,
I'm with that. Everybody. Two things. I just feel like everybody knows the game is dangerous. Nobody plays football because they're soft.
mhm.
Nobody's coming out there. You live this life. You want to be physical, but I just think that a part of that is taking care of us. If we're gonna put it out there on the line, we're gonna play hard. We should be taken care of. But I don't think that if it's gonna be all that, just play flag football. We could just get rid of the helmet. Let's make it a flag league. And
Yeah,
leave it at that. But as you want to play football, it's dangerous, and you know, it's racing cars is dangerous. Like whatever these things are, you gotta, you should just compensate the players for what it is.
yeah,
That's why we get paid.
yep. I agree with you absolutely. So hopefully we get it figured out. Hopefully the game gets back to gets in a better place and we can figure these rules out, make it safer, yet keep the contact at the same route. So heading into 2018, in your opinion, who do you think are some teams that are like on the come up? Some teams that we should look out for?
In the NFL or
Yeah,
in
yeah, NFL.
well, I'm looking forward to um, the Rams
Yeah,
making a lot of moves.
yeah,
I want to see that D tackle duo.
yeah,
I think that would be a good look, and also I'm looking forward to seeing Philadelphia, seeing if they could repeat. If they sign Mike Wallace, one of my good friends, I want to see what he can do with those two quarterbacks.
nice.
And see how they work that out. It's going to be an interesting year. You know, with the Tom Brady repeat. It's a lot of storylines going on this
Yeah,
year. But yeah, I definitely want to keep my eye on that D tackle duo and with the Rams.
yeah, I'm with you. That Rams, the two D tackles, and then they brought in Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib at corner. That's a crazy defense there.
Yeah, well, they were on the cusp last year, so maybe they can make that next step.
Yeah, I'm also a big Todd Gurley fan as well.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's probably one of the top backs in the league. Top five, that's for sure.
Yeah. Did you watch the draft? Anything stand out or surprise you from the draft this year?
Um, no, I just one of the guys who I Speaks, he went in the second round, and I was really happy that he went that high, and he went to the Chiefs. They
Oh,
drafted him in the second, and I speak to him a lot, and we talk about different aspects he have, questions he have going into the league, and I'm just proud of him and him being able to get that shot.
yeah, Braylon Speaks, 46 overall. Yeah, he should. I hope he should have some success there in Kansas City. It's a good place to be for a linebacker DN type.
Yeah, he's really that active. I think he brings a lot of energy. I think that'd be a good place for him.
Nice.
Being
Um,
they have a history of having top guys at that position.
yeah, absolutely. Do you watch HBO Hard Knocks this year? The Cleveland Browns are going to be on that, and they made a lot of roster moves, a lot of changes, bringing in Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Tyrod Taylor. Are you gonna watch some Browns Hard Knocks this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. See what's going on in old Cleveland. See what's really going on out there. It should definitely be interesting. It's always a lot of hope in the NFL at the beginning of the season. It's a lot of people. Storylines change as the season goes on, but it's a long season, and I think that uh, you know they have a chance. We're gonna see.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be interesting. So let's talk a little bit about your time with the Bears. What when you were there was who was your coach? Was that Tressman era or was that Lovie Smith still?
Well, it was Lovie Smith, but unfortunately, we got to the Trustman area. but we
Unfortunately,
started.
yes.
Yeah, I signed when with them after my rookie year with Titans. I signed with them in the playoffs, and
Okay.
they I ended up at the end of the season with the Titans. I didn't sign back, and since I was on the practice squad the whole year, I was able to change teams without any problem. So I signed with them during this. I think I want to say the second week of the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up losing in the NC. The, I was about to say NCAA, the
NFC
NFC
Championship.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we lost to Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl, I believe, that year.
Yeah, it's
But Jay got injured, and unfortunately, my Chicago career ended with Jay getting injured at the end
uh,
of the year, and we ended up having, losing without our quarterback, and we would be having good seasons, and then Jay would get injured, and it would
yep.
go downhill.
Yeah. It always seemed to happen at the worst time. We'd have momentum and then something would happen. I'm a diehard Bears fan and it's hard for me to believe that that was the last time we made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, you hired Mark Trestman.
Yeah. Pretty much got to start over from scratch after that.
Yeah, well, I just think that when they had Lovey, we my first year we had I forgot her GM name. I can't think of. They hired a new GM
Hmm.
my second year, and he had a different vision for the team. And instead of the Bears that when I first came in, what I understood about this team was it was a defense first team, and they played really good special teams. They're one of the top special teams in the league, and what they ended up doing was they ended up being more offensive team. And I just think that Chicago, Monsters of Midway, it's a defense is a great team, and so once
Absolutely.
we started going to offense, I think that's where they started. That was the downfall.
Yep.
You look at it with um, the defense they had. They led the NFL in turnovers, and they played really good special team, so it would always give Jay and the offense a good position. You know,
Mm.
they would get their shots and they would have a short field because, like I said, the defense split was so good and giving turnovers, and the special team would always give the ball with Devin Hester in great position. You know, and
Yeah.
Devin Hester's a great guy also. And just, you know, outside of the field, he's a good guy to talk to
Nice.
and very humble.
Yeah. Yeah, I was with you. I mean, I was mad the moment we decided to fire Lovey. You know, we fired him after a 10-win season, and you know, appropriately, we haven't seen the playoffs since. I didn't like the move when it happened, and hopefully the new coaching staff that we hired and the new quarterback, and hopefully we can get back to it. But it's been a long rebuild for us, and but we'll see what happens going forward. So you made a lot of what kept you on the roster a lot of times was your special teams play. Are you worried at all about the movement or the push to possibly take kickoffs out of the game? I'm not a fan of that.
Well, you know, luckily I'm not I'm not playing for it, so it's not you know. But yeah, I mean, what is football without a kickoff? You know, it's at a point, you know, you can mess with something too much,
Yeah,
and it's an exciting part of the game, you know. And I just think that, you know, like I said before, if you know, we got a weak collective bargaining agreement. You know,
yeah,
it should be better, but you just got to compensate the players. I think that if players were compensated, the safety issues, you know, it is what it is. You know,
hmm,
but you know, we're all men. We know what we're signing up for, and like I said, you compensate us, and I just don't think that that's the game people want to watch. You know, you want to watch kickoffs. You want to watch these parts of the game. You know, and it's
yeah,
an exciting part of the game, and it could change the game. You know, and it's a big play waiting to happen, and it's exciting. I just don't, you know, at some point, you know, you're gonna do too much.
yeah. I absolutely agree. I feel like if the NFL owners would take care of their players, then the players will do a better job of taking care of the product on the field, taking care of the you know the style of play that we like. I agree 100% with that. Um, but well, thanks, Patrick. I really appreciate it. I'm a big fan, and it's awesome having you on my podcast for an interview.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, man. I appreciate you hitting me up and making this happen.
Yeah,
I wish you best of luck, and you know.
yeah, you as well, and you're welcome anytime to come on again. So I'll be in touch. But thanks again, and have a great day, man.
All right, you too.
Yep,
Thank
yep. See you, bro.